Hey guys, welcome back to NY Sports MC. Thank you for tuning in this Sunday evening. Um, as always, we're going to talk about Jets, all the news that was coming up. But as I've been mentioning in the chat here, I am going to go on a little bit of a rant for just a few minutes. I don't want to take too much of the time away from the Jets and what the channel is really about. But had to say this. If Demonic is in here yet, he's going to agree with everything I said. We've been talking about this offline. And it just really had my blood boiling before I came on here. And that is, if you guys are NBA fans, Jonathan Isaac was the one player who did stand for the national anthem, did not wear a Black Lives Matter shirt, and that's not what I'm ranting about. If you guys saw, he was playing earlier today. This happened literally maybe not even an hour ago. Got hurt, non-contact knee injury. He was coming back off a knee injury, and it looks like he probably tore his ACL. His year is done. His next season is probably done as well. And what I want to rant about is the ridiculousness of these people and how people are so brainwashed and so much into what everybody's feeding to them that there's literally people all over social media right now, Twitter, saying he plays for the Magic. He's in the NBA, plays for the Magic. Jonathan Isaac, he's a younger player, up and coming, playing very well. And there's a bunch of people all over social media saying that that's karma. That's what he gets for not taking a knee. And all this disgusting stuff. It is unbelievable. The poor kid just tore his ACL, right? Ended his season. And all they care about is their agendas. And it's just absolutely ridiculous. I can't stand it. I had to come on here and say, look, I'm a Knicks fan, and we're horrible. We're not even in the reboot, right? That's how bad we are. We'd rather go play with ping pong balls than actually play basketball. So I wasn't really keeping that much tabs on the NBA restart because, first of all, I'm sick of seeing everybody kneel and all this stuff, right? The agenda is not even about Black Lives, but, again, this is not a political platform, so we're not going to talk about that. But it's just sickening that, like, this kid, a good kid who does a lot for the community in Orlando, is just, getting ripped to shreds because he chose to stand because he has Christian beliefs and he doesn't, feel that that's the right way to do things, right? So it's just really a shame. Like, how could you in good faith make fun of or rip people? And I'll tell you what, right now, if you're one of those people, please turn off my video right now, unsubscribe to my channel. I don't need that kind of support, right? I'm not going to get, like I said, I don't get into political things, but if you're going to sit there and bash a kid who's working hard, does great things for the community. He's actually a preacher as well. We don't need those vibes around here, man. So if you're watching this live or you're watching it on recording and you don't agree with what I'm saying and you want to sit there and make fun of him and say how God took his knee because he didn't want to take a knee, see you later. I don't want you on my channel. I don't, and I don't care. Because like I said, you guys notice this channel is not for me to make money, right? I have 170 subscribers. I'm not making money, right? It's all free. And who knows how long until I'd actually even make anything. But it's not about that. It's just about talking Jets and about having fun. And eventually I want to expand and talk about my Mets, who are really upsetting me now, and the Knicks, if they can ever turn it around as well. But that's what it's about, man. It's just about having fun. So I don't want that negativity. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So that's my little bit of a rant. I hope that Jonathan Isaac has a strong and quick recovery and comes back better than ever. But that's where our thoughts should be. Not at, well, he decided to make a stand, and that's why he got hurt. No. Like, that's utterly ridiculous. Yeah, Joe, we're staying safe. That's gone already. If you're talking about the hurricane or the pandemic, whatever. But we were supposed to have a hurricane here in Florida. I actually did put up my shutters just to be safe, but ended up not needing it at all. We barely got anything. These people are idiots. They all follow. Most never lead. Exactly. So that was my rant. Let's get back into the Jets. There has been a little bit of news trickling out here. As we expect to see some more, right? They're in camp. Now they're very light right now. They're not even in pads yet. But as I'm sure you guys have seen, what was I saying? You see some videos of Sam Darnold throwing some balls, but it's really like they're not even going against defense yet. Debate is key. They're always going to be different from opinion, but as soon as it gets bitter and the social media bandwagon gets involved, it's always ends. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, Caleb, is sure, if you have difference of opinions, that's fine. But, like, to be saying that it's karma that the person got injured, or like poking fun at the fact that somebody got a severe knee injury, that's just not right. But so CJ Mosley has opted out for the season. I'm kind of surprised. I thought we kind of got past the point where players were going to opt out, right? I didn't know that there was a certain date, but I figured the people reporting and getting the COVID test and being there, I thought that meant that they were going to play. So it seemed like everybody had reported. I thought we were pretty good where nobody was going to opt out, but CJ Mosley does opt out. Let me see what Steve's got to say here before I go into my thoughts on it. Somebody brought up a point on CJ Mosley opting out. They said, why can't he just send his family away to Bahamas or any? Yeah, but that's tough though too, Steve, because now you're actually got to be away from his family for several months. Maybe he doesn't want to do that, right? Yeah, of course he's got the money, he can do it, but maybe he doesn't want to do it, right? The thing is, yes, they're athletes and they travel quite a bit, but I'm sure that they have their family at least close by for the home games, things like that. So my thoughts on the CJ Mosley, and I don't know the whole specifics, right? I'm a fan just like you guys. I don't know the whole specifics of how it breaks down from a contractual standpoint, but what I did hear is that it pushes his contract years down the line one, which I do not like, because what happens is, and one of the reasons I always said from the beginning, I was not that upset with how much we paid Mosley as other people. I know I didn't have my channel back then, but if you looked at the way it was structured, and look, McCagnon made a lot of mistakes, right? But the one thing that I wasn't that upset about was the CJ Mosley deal, because the way it was structured was so that after Sam Darnold's fourth year is when CJ Mosley became a point where you can just cut him for almost nothing, right? So if you really needed that money to pay Sam, you can cut CJ Mosley. At that point, he's going to be older too, and then pay Sam Darnold. But now it gets pushed back a year to where that point doesn't overlap as well, and there'll be more money tied up still to CJ Mosley. But we just traded Jamal Adams, so now we don't have to worry about paying him. So we still should have plenty of money to pay Sam Darnold. So it doesn't hurt as much than I originally thought. But it was a shock. I mean, I really just wanted to see CJ Mosley and Avery Williamson play together. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. I was really excited about them, but I'm going to talk about my thoughts on how this impacts the defense. But I see a bunch of things come in about Brian Winters, my thoughts on that. Let me just catch up on some comments here. I had high hopes for CJ this year, was waiting for that. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said, Devin. I was waiting for that duo as well. Crazy how we're never going to see that now, because Williamson will be a free agent after this year, and I highly doubt we bring him back. Yeah, and Williamson's on the pub. Steve kind of answered that. He tore his ACL. He should be back, though. I mean, it's probably just more of a procedural thing right now, so that they can work him back slowly and have that extra spot. You can't be upset. You can't be upset with anybody for opting out, Caleb. Just annoying that's the biggest thing, how the contracts kind of get pushed back. It's like, look, if you choose to opt out, but then again, they're not going to pay them, right? They're not going to pay them that money. They had to work out some kind of deal. Should still be able to control that option. They should be able to say, hey, look, I'll still pay you your salary this year, even though you're opting out, but it's going to count as a year. That would have been cool, like a little option, because it's like, look, we don't need that money this year, so just pay them, get it closer to where we have more roster flexibility. But that didn't seem like an option. So Winters, obviously he got cut today. Was I surprised that Winters got cut? No. Was I surprised when he got cut? Yes. It's kind of a random time for him to be cut. Why didn't they do it just before everybody came in? Like, they do it right after? Unless they just wanted to kind of see everybody in person and see. One of the things I kind of read that would maybe make a little sense is they probably wanted to free up a little extra money, whether that is to go out and sign somebody like a Logan Ryan, or whether that be they wanted extra money to roll over for next year because the cap is going to be reduced significantly. Seemed like they really were going to get rid of Williamson. They were going to trade him. They would been trying to trade him, or they were going to outright cut him at some point. So by cutting Winters, they saved the same amount of money, virtually right around the same amount of money that they would have if they cut Williamson. Now they know that they probably have to keep Williamson. So that's probably why they didn't let Winters compete for that starting guard spot, because it just seems too convenient that it's right after Mosley opts out for the year that they cut him. So that could be a reason why as well. Not 100% sure, but you just kind of got to see there. I'm hoping with all the saved money we trade a second or third for Juju. Devin, I would only trade a pick for Juju if it came with us signing him to a long-term deal, because I don't want to trade any picks for anybody that could potentially be a rental. We're not in that position. So I would like Juju here, and if we can sign him. So if they say, hey, look, we'll give you Juju for a second if you could work out a deal with him, or we'll take a third if you can't, right? I'd be like, yeah, I'll give you a second, but I want a long-term extension with him. Because, like I said, I'm not going to put myself in the position like the Giants did with Leo, where they ended up having a franchise tag him, and he's probably going to leave after this year. And now you traded picks for nothing. It's not an opt-out; it's a cop-out. So now we're down to 99 inside linebackers. Yeah. So how much do I think C.J. Mosley is going to affect or alter my projections for the team this year? So obviously C.J. Mosley is a huge player. He's an all-pro caliber player. As we traded Jamal Adams, I was saying, look, yes, we lost an all-pro, but we're gaining an all-pro in C.J. Mosley. So now that's not the case anymore. So now what I wanted to do, and what I was thinking, I was like, man, this is tough. We lost, we trade Jamal Adams. We now lose Mosley to the opt-out. What is our defense going to look like? So I said, man, it's got to take a step back, right? But then I started thinking about it. The defensive line, let's go position group by position group. Defensive line, everybody's returning, right? So the defensive line should be better because a lot of them are young, right? So they should be taking that next step, progressing, getting better. You have Quinnen Williams. I expect a big jump from him. Foley Fatukasi showed that he can be an elite run defender. You have McClendon, who obviously is getting a little bit older. I think he's still going to be very good, just in a limited role. Kyle Phillips played really well last year. Henry Anderson had a down year, so I don't think he can play worse than he did last year. You have Nathan Shepard showed a little something last year. So I think the defensive line will, at the very worst, be the same as they were last year, which was a very good unit. Linebackers. So now you're like, oh, we lost C.J. Mosley. Linebackers worse. No, we didn't have C.J. Mosley last year. So now if we had C.J. Mosley, he would have helped from a playmaking standpoint, potential, also like a potential for some turnovers, things like that. But we didn't have him last year. We were top 10 defense last year without him. So we look at the linebackers. Let's go by their positions. Jordan Jenkins, he'll be back. I expect a very comparable play to his play last year. So that's a wash. Same player. Other outside linebacker was between Brennan Copeland and Terrell Basham. I think that's pretty comparable, but if you put Zuniga instead of Copeland, I think that's a slight edge up. Now, inside linebacker. Last year, towards the end of the year, we had Hewitt and Burgess. Now we still have Williamson and Peanut with Burgess and Cashman and Hewitt all behind them. So I think the inside linebacker position is actually better than last year still, and significantly better when you factor Williamson was a stud the last time we saw him on the field. So I think the linebacking crew is definitely improved from last year, even without C.J. Mosley. Now we look at the secondary. The corner spots, I think, are going to be improved as well. We had very poor play from the outside corner positions. The slot corner, we had one of the best in the league in Brian Poole, and he is back to man that spot again. But the outside with Pierre Desir and hopefully improved Lesan Austin. Maybe we can get something from Bryce Hall, right? Maybe Greg Williams can unleash Quincy Wilson a few years ago, right? We'll have to see. But I think that unit together will be improved. Now you go to safety position, Marcus Mays back, so obviously that's the same. And then we have McDougald instead of Jamal Adams, and we have Ashton Davis kind of rotating in. So that's going to be a step back, right? McDougal's not as good as Adams. Otherwise, Seattle would have never made the trade. Ashton Davis is a rookie, but I don't think that that's as far back of a step as our improvements at corner and at linebacker. So I think the unit as a whole can still be better than they were last year. So can they still be a top 10 defense? I think so. But even if they're a middle of the pack defense, if we can get a middle of the pack offense, we're still going to be competing in all these games. So I don't think that the Mosley deal is going to make the defense so much worse than it was last year. I think that it makes it a lot worse than what it could have been this year. Because like I said, I was saying that we could have had a top 5 defense this year. But that's not going to happen now. And Williamson can very, very easily take on that leadership role, call those plays. He did it for us 2 years ago. So I'm not worried from that perspective of having that leader in the middle of the field as long as Williamson is back and healthy. So that's my thoughts on the defense. Can't wait to cut Henry Anderson. Yeah, he probably will be after this year. Top 10 D, middle of the pack. Oh, we've been saying it all offseason, Stephen. If that is the case, I think we win the division. I think we win the division. Because tougher offensive schedule this year, though, in my opinion. But if anyone can get it done going, it's Greg. Hopefully we can get some INTs in the score. Yeah. So the thing is, and one of the other things I'm absolutely sick of is the Jets should just tank for Trevor Lawrence. I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence would be better than Sam Darnold. I am hugely high on Sam Darnold. He has shown plenty to me to where first of all, the main argument or the main reason that Darnold is not what we expected is because the talent around him has been subpar. So why would you then go draft another quarterback with subpar talent around him? You have to use all these picks to build the rest of the team. You can't just throw quarterbacks. I don't care if Tom Brady in his prime was on our team last year, right? Peyton Manning in his prime was on our team last year, right? The only quarterback that might have had a chance in his prime last year was Michael Vick because he just run for his life. So those other guys, they weren't going to do anything. Like use our picks to get wide receiver, to get offensive line, to continue to build up on, get a corner, get an edge rusher. Those are the people we need to be drafting with those first-round picks, not a quarterback. And the thing is, Sam Darnold just turned 23. He's not 25, 26. Even still at that point, that's still young. But the thing is, he's so young. He's younger than Joe Burrow. So just because he had a short college career and he came in early because he was that good, you're going to give up on him when he's 23 years old? Get out of here. I don't know much about this upcoming draft, but I'd only tank for an elite edge. So, Devin, this upcoming draft, obviously I haven't done a lot of research yet. We haven't even had a season yet. Hopefully we have a season, and hopefully college has a season. But the biggest thing with that is going to be if there is no season, it is going to be very, very tough sledding for these teams. And I'll be very interested to see how the draft even works. How do you get a draft order? Are we going to mooch off NBA and just do ping pong balls, and we'll use just the record from last year to factor in how many ping pong balls you get and just go that route? I have no idea what they would do for that. That would be extremely interesting to see. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully, like I said, this is all over soon. But there are a few elite prospects out there. The crazy thing is every year going into the season, there's a few elite prospects. There's a few people that don't think, right? And then there's people that come out of nowhere. So I always said it's coming into the past season, Becton and Joe Burrow were not expected to be first-round picks. And I'm sure there's plenty more, but obviously Joe Burrow was the number 1 overall pick and Becton was our pick. Those guys were not projected to be first-round picks, especially not top of the first round. So there are always people that come in this last year. And now also, you got to think about, was that 250-something picks every year? So that's 250 positions that would probably be replaced by somebody at an elite program, right? Most of these people at elite programs, and those guys would have came in and made a name for themselves and shot up boards, right? But even Quinnen Williams, right? Quinnen Williams was a backup before that 1 year before we drafted him. So it's like the guy like Quinnen Williams, was he going to stay in school another year, I guess? That's going to be his choice. Is how are you going to know that guy was even good? If he doesn't get to play, it's going to be interesting. If we tanked and used it to replace Donald rather than give him the players to succeed, it would be utter stupidity. Yeah. And I can't stand the people that have been saying that on social media. It's just, again, it's back to kind of what I was saying about Jonathan Isaac and all these people that are just kind of so brainwashed into it. It's whatever you hear from the media, people just regurgitate it. They're like, well, Darnold's no good. Oh, seeing ghosts. Like, I was literally in one of the entertainers' conversation live streams the other day, and I was just in the comments chatting. Obviously, he's a Giants YouTuber, so a lot of Giants fans in there. And I don't know, I got on the topic of defending Sam Darnold in there to a bunch of them. And this one guy's like, oh, seeing the ghost game. And I put stats out there. He goes, oh, I don't care about those stats. I'm showing you stats, and you say you don't care. But all you're saying to me is, oh, the ghost game. Because why? You saw it on the media. That's all you saw. You probably never even seen him play besides the game when he beat your Giants. Like, come on. Like, you look at the plays that he made with the talent he has around him. The guy's got a lot of ability. And I'll tell you what, I am so pumped up. Did you guys see the little trailer for One Jets Drive coming back on Tuesday night? I was fired up. At the end, Jordan Palmer just says how nobody's working harder than Sam Darnold. He's going to prove a lot of people wrong this year. And I was fired up, man. You got to go watch it and get ready to watch it Tuesday night. Lottery with some form of structure around it. Last 5-year average wouldn't be a bad idea. If it's straight out lottery, we'll end up at number 32. 31 and 32, Caleb. 31 and 32 will end up with. Without bad luck, there isn't any luck at all. Yeah, he had me fired up, Jordan Palmer. The comment gifts were hilarious. I don't know what comment gifts. Maybe I missed it. So there hasn't been a lot of news coming out of the training camp because obviously whoa, who's that guy that just came in here? Wow, Lights, finally back in a live stream. We're glad to have you back, buddy. But right now, like I said, it's a lot of – I think right now what they're really doing and why we're not hearing a lot of news out of it, it's like mini camp stuff right now. You see a lot of positional drills, a lot of just – like I said, you saw Sam Darnold throwing deep to Herndon on one play, deep to Mims. And it's just the receiver running, right? No defender, nothing. So I think they're just kind of doing those drills, getting comfortable with each other. They'll probably start implementing some stuff. Okay. But, yeah, so I'm waiting for the padded practices. I'm waiting for them to start to actually go live against each other because I'm sure somehow – I know media is probably not allowed there, but we'll start to hear something coming out, how well they look and who's looking good. But it's going to be very, very difficult for some of these young players to really carve out a role. And I know we've been excited about a few different undrafted guys, whether it be Huff, Cager. I've even heard people say they're excited about Hilbers, the safety, Shaquem Carter. It's going to be very difficult for them to kind of make a name for them without that preseason, but we'll have to see. Like I said, I hope that they just have like a bigger practice squads. They allow you to just put people straight on your practice squad. Let these teams kind of keep your own players. I mean, with the offseason the way it's been, to kind of lose somebody on a waiver wire thing would really suck. Darnold said he's been working hard on his deep ball. Good. And he's going to have a lot of people to throw deep to. I mean, Perryman's got speed. Mims got speed. He's got Vincent Smith's got speed. So a lot a lot of people. So as long as he wasn't getting tips on deep ball accuracy from his best friend Josh Allen, we'll be good to go. Josh Allen, I I hate that they work out together. I really do, because Josh Allen has come out and said that Sam Darnold has helped him a lot, and it's like I don't want to hear that. So it's just weird the time we're in now. Not even like the pandemic time, just a generation we're in now, because everybody's friends, right? And it's not a bad thing, but like back in the day, I'll use NBA reference, but Jordan and Ewing weren't practicing together, and Larry and Magic weren't practicing together, right? They hated each other. They wanted to beat each other. It's like they're not going to be helping each other work out in the off season. No, they wanted to say, "Hey, I'm working out harder than you. Not working out with you. I'm working out harder than you." So, what about Campbell? Any info on him? No, like I said, Andrew, just not a lot of news going on right now, because I think it's very, very laid back what they're doing. And without media being able to be there, or any fans being able to be there, it's really hard to kind of hear anything, right? Like I said, I think as they start to move into padded practices, which I think is like in a week or two, I'm sure we'll start to hear something if they do any scrimmages or anything like that. Hopefully we get some stats on how these guys are doing. But it's going to be very, very difficult for us to kind of get a gauge on what's going on because of the fact that the time we're in and how closed off everything is right now. You can't fix accuracy, though, and Josh Allen has trash accuracy. If they say they cut Winters just to get down to 80-man roster, then why not just get rid of one of the under? Yeah. So is that what they said, Steven? That they cut him to get down to 80? Because I was looking to see, I saw some other teams had cut down to get down to 80. And I was waiting to see if we were cutting down to get down to 80. But I didn't see like any, hey, we cut 8 people, 10 people, whatever the case may be. So I wasn't sure if we were down, how many people we were down to. Samini said it. Okay. I wonder who else we might have cut then to get down to 80, because I think we were at 90. Let's see this. Yeah, we cut Winter's lights maybe like an hour or two ago. Hey, Jets fans, who do you guys feel is going to have the best game week 1 against the Bills? Fantasy points, who's scoring the most, and also who do you guys think will score the most on the Bills side? Interesting. So I think that's a loaded question, because fantasy leagues can be changed so drastically to where a running back can score a lot more than anybody else, a wide receiver, a quarterback, right? I've seen all different types of leagues. But I would say Crowder. Crowder or Herndon for the Jets. If you're looking for a value pick, Crowder or Herndon for the Jets, because, obviously the Bills have White on the outside, so he's going to be locked up with Perryman. So I think that could help keep Perryman's numbers kind of down. But Crowder in the slot and Herndon at tight end, I think those are the two guys that you can kind of see from a fantasy standpoint. And then when you're looking at the Bills, you'd have to go with a wide receiver. I'm not going with a running back, because the Jets have an elite run defense and should continue to have an elite run defense even without C.J. Mosley. I guess I'd probably pick John Brown for the Bills week 1. I think his speed, he might be able to get behind somebody. Hey, sorry I'm late. I'm pretty upset about Dark Demonic. Go back to the beginning of my video when it uploads. I went on a little bit of a rant about it. Thank goodness Tropical Storm did not get you. Yeah, no, it didn't get me. I did board up. I said, hey, I have them. I might as well put them up, because my luck, something would have crashed into my window if I didn't put it up, and I would have felt like an idiot. So whatever. It was a little manual labor, a little exercise, got me going. So yes, I did see that. The Eagles head coach tested positive for COVID. EJ Gaines for the Bills opted out today. Okay. There's a lot of players opting out. I think Crowder for the Jets and Diggs for the Bills. All right, Lights, we were kind of close there. NFL is going to be in the same lines as baseball. Can 2020 have already? It's just annoying seeing we keep taking steps back. We keep saying one more year. It's getting annoying. Yeah, but I understand JT games, and nobody understands as much as me unless you're the same fans as I am. I've been saying it with the Jets. I've been saying it with the Mets, and I've been saying it with the Knicks. So I understand how annoying it's getting. I say it with all my teams. So the one thing I will say, though, is Joe Douglas has given me all indications that he is the real deal. And people around the league have said it as well. And that's what got me, is that, like, we've kind of bought the Kool-Aid before. I bought the Maccagnan Kool-Aid in the very, very beginning because my buddy is a Texans fan, and he kind of told me that he was upset that Maccagnan left. He thought it was good. So I was buying the Kool-Aid in the beginning, but that, like, everybody said they were surprised we got Joe Douglas, and that Joe Douglas was going to be the hot name the year after, because we kind of hired him at a very weird time. Nobody else was going to be looking for GMs at that time, but they said he was going to be a hot target the next year for a position. So that's the only reason I'd say maybe this time's a little bit different, because I really, really do believe that we have the right GM in place. Yeah, man, John Brown. Like I said, I feel like, I'm not a huge Diggs guy. I think he's a good player. But John Brown has that speed that he can probably, like I said, we may be more looking out for Diggs, right? We may put May over on Diggs' side, and John Brown could potentially beat our number 2 corner deep. So that's why I would say he's going to be a boom or bust type of guy, though, for sure. Only good news today was Winter's getting cut. Like, there will be plenty more. Yes. I've been through this 30 years. I got that like button for you. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. If you haven't, if anybody's new to the channel too, please make sure you're subscribing and hitting the bell. Competing for the 7th playoff spot. Yeah, hey, I'm all for it. 4 to 7. Ed, I don't think it's 4 to 7 wins, Ed. I think it's more. I think that is a bad season. If we get 4 or 5 wins, I think it's a bad season. The offense has to be better. And Sam Darnold has to be able to keep us in games and win games for us this year. You see what Adam's supposed to – yeah, didn't he say something like we all know what's going on or something like that? I did see some kind of – it was on Instagram. So I don't have Instagram, but I saw it on something. It was something along those lines. It is what it is, man. He's just – move on. You're in Seattle now. Like, we don't need to hear that no more. Yeah, 4 to 5 wins, I think Gase would have to be gone unless something catastrophic happened to the team again, like if Darnold didn't play a single game. But definitely think 4 to 5 wins has Gase out the door. Anywhere from 6 to 9 wins, my projection hasn't changed since CJ Adams opt-out trade. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would say the higher end dropped down a little bit because we don't have that elite star potential on that defense anymore, but I still think that we can win. He was saying that they know the truth and what's going on. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, Devin, it's like, you're in Seattle now. Like, why you're like a jealous ex now. Like, we gave you what you want, and you still want to, talk about us. Like, move on. So it is what it is, though. He's going to be who he's going to be. I mean, that's why you see him saying all this. You can't believe anything. And my one thing to Seattle fans, and I don't think I have any Seattle fans on my channel, but if any Seattle fans ever watch this, the one thing I will say to you is do not believe anything he says until he signs that long-term extension. Do not believe anything until he signs that long-term extension, because I wouldn't believe it. You can't believe anything this guy says anymore. He talks the game, but he doesn't always back it up, right? The thing is, he gets traded, and then one of his first things, he deleted it, is saying how, oh, come on, you got to get me up so early to fly me out to Seattle. He was complaining that he had to get up and get on an early flight to go over there. Like, that's just ridiculous. The defense is going to suffer badly. Williamson coming off major knee injury, and he was always slower to cover tight ends. He would get exposed all year in passing game. But, yeah, he's going to help that run for sure, Demonic. But the thing is, we didn't have them last year. We didn't have Mosley or Williamson last year. So that's what I was saying earlier, is that the linebacker position still improved from last year. Yes, it's definitely took a hit when Mosley opted out of what it could have been this year. But the linebacking core and the front seven is still going to be a better unit than we had out there every week last year because of the fact that we have Williamson and Peanut over Hewitt and Burgess. I mean, we still have Hewitt and Burgess, but they're going to be playing a more backup role if they even make the team. So Williamson and Cashman won't be asked to cover. Both are good tacklers. I wouldn't even trust them to sign long term. Get to the running back quickly. Shout out to Nick Mangold. Yeah, I love that. Nick Mangold was kind of getting. I'm not 100% sure. I was just thinking that same exact thing myself, Devin. I'm not 100% sure how Peanut is in coverage. I'm hoping that Cashman can kind of develop and become better in coverage because he has the speed to do it. Cashman's got, some pretty good speed for a linebacker. So I think he can keep up with them. It's just a matter of if he can develop those skills. They need to retire his number. And I think did they give out DeBrickashaw's number? I think they might have gave his number to somebody. I hope they didn't. But I'll tell you what, I saw Becton in the 77, and all I thought about was when Chris Jenkins joined the team, because that was probably the last time I saw somebody like a massive human being wearing 77 on the Jets. He looks like to be in excellent shape. Mekhi Becton looks like he is ready to roll. Like I said, I was going into the draft, I had Beckham lower on my board because the boomer bust kind of scares me. But a lot of that boomer bust is kind of being mitigated now because you see how hard he's working. You see how much he's able to, lower his weight, get into elite, shape, different things like that, right? So you see how hard he's working, and that's a really, really big factor. I think that is going to help reduce his chances of being a bust. Yeah, Devin, let's not hope that anybody catches COVID. We want this thing gone. We don't want anybody getting COVID. I'm waiting on my 77 black jersey. Can't wait for it. Caleb, I am no longer buying jerseys for any active player on the New York Jets unless we give them a Pat Mahomes type deal because I have bad luck with that. So when I was a kid, I was a huge Santana Moss fan. My mom bought me his jersey. They traded him for Lavernius Coles. She then got me a Revis jersey. He got traded. And then I bought myself a Jamal Adams jersey, and he got traded. So unless you want a player traded from the Jets, if you guys want a player traded from the Jets, I will buy his jersey. But Connor McGovern is 60. Yep, there it is, Connor McGovern. I'll call back to him before I call a tow truck. Next jersey I'm getting. Yeah, those are the types of jerseys I'm going to get, Devin. Players that are gone. Jet greats that can't rip my heart out. Right? Wayne Corbett's probably one of my favorite players of all time. I really do need to get his jersey. Nick Mangold potentially. I mean, I think I still have my Revis jersey, which I'm sure I can still wear. Because obviously he at least played a long enough career where I'd feel good to still wear his. But Jamal, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with that thing yet. Probably just. I was hoping they'd give us a little jersey swap on that one. Curtis Martin, yeah. Corbett was just such a tough guy, man. I loved his work ethic. I loved his mentality. No gloves, right? reliable, dependable, third down. I mean, look at the last play of his career. The guy literally caught a pass, got knocked out clean, still held on. That's why I don't buy active jerseys anymore. Pennington was, yeah. Oh wow, you lost your jersey. I just had always kept it because I'm not into like burning jerseys. I think that's so stupid. Yeah, and also as a kid, I used to go out to the Jets practices all the time. Corbett went to Hofstra. They practiced out in Hofstra. I wanted to go to Hofstra, and I almost went to Hofstra. If it wasn't so expensive, I would have went. But yeah, I was a huge Corbett fan. Revis, Marshall, Scott, Tebow, Sanchez is my record of jerseys. Now I have Darnold and Becton. So the thing is, I may buy a Darnold jersey, but I would wait until they give him an extension. They give him an extension. I know he's pretty much here to go. I'd probably buy a jersey. Welcome to modern sports. You can't buy a jersey until the guy retires from your team. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Or like I said, wait till they sign that second deal, and then at least you know they're going to be there for a while. Yeah, I'm not like I said, I'm not going to burn the jersey, but I won't wear it. I'll probably just keep it in my closet. It'll just stay there hanging. Maybe I'll do what they do. I'll put the tape over it, and I'll put somebody else's name. Just be real ghetto with that. Yeah, Ryan did that. I saw Ryan post a picture of that. It was pretty cool. Put impeached on the back of the jersey. And he put the E's backwards as 3, so it's 33. I have the green stitch and black stitch Darnold jerseys. So, we got – it's going to be interesting, the quarterback position. Now, we were talking about a little bit before. They were thinking about quarantining fails so that, they have one guy that's kind of away from everybody else. But, yeah, with it's just so weird that we signed Flacco knowing that he's not going to be ready week 1, and we really didn't have a veteran presence behind it. It's going to kind of put us in a weird spot if something were to happen early on. And how do we even hold our quarterbacks? Who's going to be suited up week 1 with Sam Darnold? Is it going to be Morgan? Is it going to be Fowles? Who's going to be the other quarterback backing him up week 1? I'm not happy about that. Eagles Pro Bowl right tackle Lane Johnson tested positive for coronavirus following July summit. I think because I'm in Scotland, it's not as bad if players are bust walking around with them on. Yeah. Without saying on the Jets are not winning. Exactly. So that line has to get going quickly. And Pollock's got his work cut out for him. My one thing that I've been wondering is why does everybody assume that Van Roten is playing right guard? Pollock hasn't said where he's going to play. Nobody said where he's played. Alex Lewis is not that good of a player. I like him as a person. I love that he came out and defended his coach. Got a lot of respect from me. He plays hard. He commits a lot of penalties. He's not very good. Van Roten was a left guard, and he's a better left guard than Alex Lewis. So, and you also have a rookie at left tackle. So why wouldn't you want to put the better guard, who actually plays left guard, at left guard to help your rookie tackle? Unless Fent has been saying and if you look at Fent's Twitter, it says left tackle. He thinks very highly that he's going to play left tackle. I would not agree with this if they put Fent at left tackle and Becton at right tackle. I would not agree with it, but then maybe that's why they put Van Roten at right guard, right? Because they're trying to put him next to Becton. I think the starting line should be left tackle Becton, left guard Van Roten, center we know McGovern. Right guard, I really don't know. I mean, I wanted it to be Winters, to be honest. I want Clark to really be the left guard of the future, but I don't think he's going to be ready, especially with the offseason that we had. So I guess maybe you could say Lewis at right guard, and then Fant at right tackle. Harrison is looking jacked. He's been putting in work. He might start at guard. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's something they're possibly even considering, but that's what I would want. I would want if Clark cannot show that he can start at left guard right now, I want Van Roten at left guard, and then I want somebody battling at the right guard spot. The other guy looks jacked too. Andrews, did you see that guy? He is forget about it. They had a picture of a bunch of the O linemen. It wasn't all of them because even Becton wasn't even in the picture. But I had to look up. I was like, I think that's Andrews. I had to look him up. Dude he's probably too big. His chest took up half the photo. It was ridiculous. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot of battles this camp, and it's gonna be tough because we're not gonna be able to see, hey, preseason game 1 who's starting where. So I want to see how long it takes us to kind of see what the starting 5 is even going to be and how they're going to be lined up. Winters had a lot. Yeah, but so like I said, so did Lewis. The thing with Winters was he was just he looked okay in the beginning of his career, early in his career, and then these last few years he just kept getting hurt. And to his credit, tough guy, kept playing through him. But playing through torn pecs and messed up shoulders when you're at a physically demanding position like offensive line is not good. Not a recipe for success. Andrews is 6'2", 311. Yeah, he's a big guy. Because 6'2", he's not he's not that tall. I mean, when you stack him up against Becton. See, I don't remember that. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at that. I know you've mentioned that plenty of times, Demonic. I don't remember that, and yeah, I wouldn't have been happy with that either. But I don't remember him yelling at Sam. But maybe he did. I'm sure he did. If you're saying, like I said, I can't remember it off the top of my head. But like I said, I just thought it was a really weird time to cut him. Unless they were trying to, like I said, the only way where it kind of makes sense is if they want to save some extra money to roll over for next year because of the way the salary cap's going to be for next year. They're like, hey, look, we need all the money we can for next year. And they were planning on saving the money with Williamson, but because Mosley opted out, they said we got to save it somewhere else, and they saved it there. And they said, hey, look, we respect Winters. We respect everything he did. We'll cut him now so that he can hopefully latch on with another team. Because you could have just kept him longer and, just, waited. What if somebody gets hurt, right? Who's the undrafted lineman we signed? Yeah, no, Hilbers. It was Josh Hilbers from like UNC, I believe, or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Post that for me later, Demonic. But Hilbers is the guy, and they actually said that Hilbers has a chance of making this team. It would be if we carried a fourth tackle. It would be between him and McDermott. But again, it's just going to be tough for any of these undrafted guys when you don't have game film that you can put out there. So we'll have to just see. Like I said, I hope that somehow maybe they lighten it up. They let some media in at some point, but the media is what always will give. Rich Samini, right? Even Manish Mehta, like they're there. They can tweet out, "Oh, great pass from Sam, great interception by Desir," right? So we would get some of that response back, but with nobody there, it's whatever they're kind of telling us. So information during this training camp could be severely reduced from what it normally is. So we'll just have to see how much they're able to provide to us and how much is leaked out to us on what might be happening. But I don't even know if they're going to like put out a depth chart? What point would they put out a depth chart? Since there's no preseason games, are they going to kind of hold that tight to the vest so that kind of keep the information from the Bills as long as possible? Not really sure. So now Quincy Enunwa has just become the longest tenured Jet because Winters is cut. Which Quincy wouldn't even be on this team himself if McCagnon didn't give him that great deal to where we can't really cut him because he's injured. Because we'll actually have to pay him more money. Great job, McCagnon. So let's talk through that real quick. So we just talked about the offensive line and how much of a shift up that can be. Like I said, don't be surprised if Van Noten is playing left guard. That's where he played. And that's why I'm so surprised that, like, the guy was starting left guard, and all of a sudden everybody's assuming that he's going to move over to right guard because we have such a great left guard. No, we don't. So where else do we have position battles? So wide receiver number 2, you could say that's a battle, right? Because I think you'd have to pencil Perryman as wide receiver number 1. Wide receiver number 2, you have a little competition between Mims, Vincent Smith, Josh Doxson, right? He should at least be competing for it. If he's not competing for it, he needs to be off the team because that just means he's just not good enough. And then tackle, tight end maybe, but I think with Griffin still being a little banged up, going to be kind of brought in slowly. I think that's going to be Herndon's going to run away with that. Tough as nails, but couldn't stay healthy. I don't know. I don't know if Winters is going to catch on with another team. I saw some people, he was a starting guard. He'll catch on quick. He wasn't a starting guard because he was a Pro Bowl player. I mean, like I said, when healthy, could he be an average guard? Sure. But he can't stay healthy. He'll get signed. Yeah, he'll definitely get signed because he would be one of the best backup guards in the league. So he'll definitely get signed somewhere. Are there going to be a bunch of teams lining up to sign him? No. But offensive line depth is always something that teams can use. Kicker. What about him, Andrew? We talk about this every week. Again, I don't think that they're – so Graham Gano got released. He's an interesting name to watch. I think that he needs to go somewhere. I think he's still a very good kicker in this league. But, again, I don't think that we're going to make any move at the kicker position. I really, really think it's going to be Maher. So, because you always ask, yes, position fight, though. Yes, that is going to be a position battle. Maher, I think, is going to win that battle. He's got a cannon for – so, between Maher and Ficken, they both have accuracy issues. But Maher has a leg, and that's going to be the difference. So I give them the edge to Maher for sure. Because, look, if you guys are both going to struggle in the 40s, I'd rather have somebody who can hit a 60, right? So I think Maher will be the kicker. Cornerback is obviously going to be a huge competition for that number 2 corner. A lot of people are saying that Pierre Desir is going to be number 1 and Blessian Austin is going to be number 2. But we'll have to see. A lot of names that could potentially fit into that number 2 corner spot. Inside linebacker now is going to be a big battle. Who plays there? Outside linebacker, Zuniga versus Basham. The defensive line, a lot of people who's starting is going to be a thing. Who's going to get the most reps? So a lot of position battles for the Jets. So I think Shell would have. I think that injury really derailed his career. I thought he was on the right path before that, and then he just was a shell of himself after that injury. Let's see. Yeah, so MetLife Stadium is one of the tougher stadiums to play at. There's a lot of swirling winds, and that was the one good thing I said about the Giants signing Catman. So I commented on the Entertainer's tweet the other day, just telling him, hey, look, he's not that great of a kicker, but at least he has experience, and that means a lot. Man, I hope he can boom the hell out of footballs. He will see tons of punts this year. Hopefully, he does not see tons of punts this year. If that offensive line is good, I don't think he will. Because, like I said, I think Sam will have a big, big year. But Man is going to be a very big weapon for this team. He is. My projection for Man is that he will be like Shane Leckler for us. And like how Leckler was for the Raider for a long time. Wanted a big leg, was really, really good at pinning people, Pro Bowler every year. That's what I'm hoping for with Brady, man. Yeah, like I said, it's all going to – so for the offense, it's all going to be dependent on that offensive line. I've said it plenty of times. If they can help protect and they can get the running game going and they can give Sam some time so he's not running for his life, I think they could be a good offense. I do. That's how much I believe in Sam Darnold. But so, yeah, I think the positions that are not battles will be a shorter list. The punter we had last year's hang time was the worst in the league. Yeah, he was not that good. He was better than what we've had, but there was nothing special about Edwards. I know some people were upset that we got rid of him, but look, he didn't catch on anywhere else. So obviously there wasn't a bunch of teams beating down the door to get him. The biggest thing too is you can't have, and I forget what game it was last year, but he had one where he just completely shanked a punt, and it literally was like a 10-yard punt. You can't have things like that in the NFL. It just really, really ruins the momentum. No, he left last year, the rugby player. He left during the year last year and went back to playing rugby. I thought he was an absolute stud of a rugby player. So I thought that maybe he could have made the transition and had that playmaking ability, but didn't seem to work out, and he just decided he'd rather go back and play rugby. So I forget what his name was, but he was like 24, 25, so I'm sure he'll have a nice long career over there playing rugby. But, he left during the season. Didn't even finish out 1 year with them. I think there was like an opt-out window where he could go back, and he chose to. I mean, he was a star over there. Yeah, that was his name, Valentine. So real quick before we head out, we'll go through, like I said, I think the list is shorter for positions where there is no battle. So wide receiver, quarterback, right? Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback as long as he's healthy. Center, it's McGovern as long as he's healthy. I think the starting tackles, I really think it's Fant, and I know that they're going to say that Chumadoga is going to be battling, but I think it's Becton and Fant, no question about it. Clark is playing guard by week 8. Edwards was not consistent enough. If you need a booming kick. Exactly. Yeah, I hope Clark is. Like I said, I'm very big on Clark. Wide receiver number 1 is Perryman. Slot wide receiver is Crowder, right? So now if we go over to the defense, Marcus May, McDougal, right? So you're starting safeties. Desir's going to be starting on one of the outsides. Poole's going to be starting in the slot. And then Jordan Jenkins at outside linebacker. And the rest of it is really like up for grabs. Steven, I think like if you're talking about when they actually start like practicing like with pads, I think that's in like a week or two. I don't remember the exact date, but I think it's in a week or two. Right now, they're just pretty much doing what would amount to like the mini camp practices where they're doing a lot of positional stuff and things like that. At least that's what it seems like. So that month will be them training for the season. I don't think they're actively – yeah, they are. There was a video of Darnold. I just don't think they're, like, competing. I think they're just doing some drills. Jets mini Hard Knocks is on the 4th. Yeah, Tuesday. Every Tuesday they're gonna be coming out with that thing. So I'm excited for that. The little hype trailer was pretty exciting. So I'm ready to watch that on Tuesday. That's gonna be like all we're gonna be able to really get right now. Because like I said, without them really being able to be anybody there from fans to media, we're going to be very limited on how much we're going to get from this. They do a very, very good job with that demonic. He's saying how he loves it better than Hard Knocks. Biggest position battle, head coach. Hopefully this starter is out of here. Gitmo, we got to go in and give him a chance, man. He was putting, and this will be my last little thing for today. I mean, it's interesting that our team, for everything it went through last year, we finished 7-9. 7-9. We were almost 500 with all the injuries we went through, and everybody wants the head coach completely out of here. So, what I want to ask you guys, just think to yourself, if Gase was not, because he did deal with a lot of shit over there with the sorry for my language there with the Dolphins, and he did not have a very talented team there. If he was not the head coach of the Dolphins before, and he was a coordinator that we brought over, and that was his first year, would you be saying to let him go? Or would you be saying, let's give him a chance? And that's what I'm saying is we just got to give him a chance this year. We got to give him a chance. I'll tell you what, if that offensive line is healthy and playing well and Darnold's out there and playing and we don't do better, then yes, he's got to go. I'll be the first one to say, because like I've said plenty of times, I'm not here saying that Gase is the answer and that he is the right coach for us. All I'm saying is that we have to give him an opportunity. So I'm going into the season open eyes to see what's going on. But if things don't change, I'll be one of the first ones to say, yeah, it's time for him to go. Right? So we have to just see what's going on. Because that was a lot of adversity last year. The team stayed together for the most part. You don't win 6 out of the last 8 or whatever we did last year if you're not sticking together. So that means a lot. So like I said, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt going into the season, but I do need to see some more. I think he could have been holding the playbook back a little bit last year too because of the fact that, first of all, his first year in the system, you can't implement everything in 1 year. They'll continue to build on it. Second of all, he lost his quarterback early in the season. They kind of fell out of contention pretty quickly. The offensive line was atrocious, and they couldn't do anything. So I think because of all that, he kind of dialed it back. He didn't want to show his hand, and I'm hoping that that's the case. But we have to see what happens this year. So let's just say the last 2 games were not gimmies. I don't want to hear that, Gitmo. We were playing with 3rd and 4th string practice squad type players, so I don't want to hear that the Bills had backups. I don't. And if we had a competent kicker week 1, we still win. You know, we still win if we have a competent kicker week 1. The only reason we didn't have a competent kicker week 1 is because the Catman, who I bet you what, the Catman's not a good kicker. And for Giant fans out there, you better hope that he doesn't win the job because you want a better kicker than him. But if he didn't retire on us because he felt like he couldn't get it done, I guarantee you that he would have made one of those kicks and we would have beat the Bills week 1. So now you're looking at we're 8-8 beating the Bills week 1. So you gotta give him a chance. Yeah, well, like I said, we just got to see what happens this year. Gase blew most of those games. We lost, though. Yeah, like I said, I'm going in open eyes. That's what I'm going to leave it at. I'm going to just go in open eyes this year and just kind of see what happens this upcoming year. Yeah, the offense needs to continue to progress, though. That is one thing that you need to see. He was very, very good at drawing game plans coming out. It had been forever since we had scored a opening drive touchdown, and then we did it like, what was it, 4 games in a row or something, 5 games in a row, something like that. But we can't go in those big lulls in the middle of the game. So he needs to be able to adjust quicker. And I think with the more comfortable that they will be together, both Gase and Darnold. I think that them working together to correct those will be a lot smoother this year. So that's going to be the big thing. He needs to be able to make in-game adjustments a lot faster. But yeah, I'm hoping the playoffs this year. Let's see. Getting really worried this season is going to be canceled a few games in. They almost got to try to figure out a way to do like a bubble thing. I mean, the NBA, I think it's going well for them with the whole bubble thing. But with football, it's tough because where do you really have a bunch of football fields that you can kind of use and keep people kind of close? Not really sure if they have an area like that. So it's going to be tough. But the bubble thing is kind of the best way. You see baseball struggling right now because it's just too much travel. The more and more you travel, the more and more you're leaving yourself exposed to interactions with people outside of that world. NBA kind of has everybody in that bubble where they're limited interactions with other people, and they're able to kind of keep it under control for now. But we'll have to see what happens. I hope that this whole thing is just over soon now. Worried about – no, definitely not worried about kicker or punt returners. That's going to be a big position battle, but I mean, Berrios was one of the better punt returners last year if you look at a per average basis. So, and our special teams coordinator is very, very good. I like him a lot. So I'm not concerned at all. I think it's going to be a position where there's going to be a lot of people competing. So it would be really interesting to see who comes out on top. And without games to actually see them do it live, it's going to be a little difficult. But I think we have plenty of talent there at the return position. But, hey, guys, I appreciate it so much. I think I saw a few new names in here. I don't know if people changed their names or maybe I just don't remember them. But if you are new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell. Come back every Sunday. We'll be doing Sundays until the season starts, and then I'll probably move it to, I was thinking Wednesday nights. Just kind of got to see. Obviously, I don't want to do a live stream Sunday night when there's going to be games going on. I don't think that would be practical or best. So Wednesday sounds like a good night for the stream, but I'll let you guys know as we get closer. But if not, I look forward to seeing you guys again next Sunday, and looking forward to this upcoming season. And as always, Jet up.